A single candle still burned in the long library when the page hurried in with a red-stamped envelope meant only for the king, and that quiet moment Chief of Staff later swore was the instant the destiny of two royal children began to slip into the realm of genetic proof rather than ancestral faith. What matters now is not gossip but precedent. If Charles III truly orders laboratory confirmation before allowing Archie and Lilibet permanent Her Royal Highness status, every monarchy in Europe must confront the same fluorescent scrutiny, while Britain risks turning lineage into litigation and fatherhood into forensics. Sources place the origin of the crisis 6 weeks earlier, deep inside the Privy Purse Office, where a junior controller updating the civil list noticed that security allocations for non-resident minors of the Sussex branch remained unsigned. The omission, trivial on paper, triggered alarms among courtiers who feared it signified a deliberate pause while the king weighed a harsher solution. Behind mahogany doors the debate split along steely lines. Queen Camilla, conscious her own public acceptance had once hung by a thread, urged decisive clarity. Princess Anne warned that science could not mend a family's soul, and William, suddenly custodian of Operation Acanthus, kept meticulous notes in the margin of his red box, consider public sentiment if results inconclusive. Engage Lambeth Palace early. Observers recall echoes of 1936, when Edward VIII's romance forced a constitutional firewall between personal desire and sovereign duty. This time love is not the issue, legitimacy is. Yet the stakes feel just as epochal because the monarchy's invisible contract with its people is grounded on the unbroken storytelling of blood. Adding fuel, Meghan's re-energized podcast tour described Lilibet toddling beneath California sunshine yet longing to learn her corgi heritage, a line some read as a challenge to the palace: acknowledge us or look heartless. The king's advisers countered privately that authenticity demanded proof. One veteran equerry mused, "We issue medals, not miracles. Every regiment keeps its records straight, so should the House of Windsor." Social media detonated in threads of speculation. Amateur genealogists mapped freckles, armchair legalists cited the 1953 Treason Act, conspiracy vloggers claimed the Duke of York funded private investigators, while TikTok #DNA or Destiny hit 8 million views in 48 hours. Parliament listened. 2 backbenchers drafted an early-day motion urging transparent confirmation of succession security, though the whips quickly buried it, fearing constitutional tinder. Inside Clarence House the king examined archival files on the warming pan baby that toppled James II, and on the scandal of Prince Albert Victor, whose rumoured illegitimacy nearly destabilised Queen Victoria's later years. The lesson he underlined, aides say, was simple: silence invites myth, and myth devours crowns. Yet silence had its defenders. The Lord Steward argued that demanding personal samples from children would shatter what little trust remained with Harry. The Crown's Counsel warned that California privacy laws could block extraction without parental consent, risking a transatlantic subpoena circus. And always Charles's own mortality hovered. His oncologists advised reducing trans-county travel, but he pushed through 6 engagements in May, determined, he told a confidant, to be seen working while storms gather. Meanwhile, William convened economists from the Duchy of Cornwall in Highgrove's Orchard Room to model financial scenarios. Scenario A: titles confirmed, modest security cost. Scenario B: titles withheld, multi-year Sussex litigation. Scenario C: conditional titles, DNA dependent. Volatile public reaction index. Catherine, recovering strength after surgery, studied the spreadsheets and asked the question none dared voice. If DNA divides them, can reconciliation survive? Across the Atlantic, Harry paced Montecito terraces, furious at leaks he blamed on the grey suits, his anger amplified by friends who reminded him Edward VIII kept his dukedom even after abdication. He drafted, then deleted, a statement promising explosive receipts. Whispers suggest Omid Scobie's next book already reserves 2 chapters for lab results day, ready to publish whichever way the chemical sequences align. Further intrigue emerged when an ex-Royal Protection Officer revealed a standing order for plainclothes Metropolitan Police to accompany any Sussex visit to the UK with chain-of-custody containers, officially for security kits, unofficially, some believe, for discreet biological collection should an opportunity arise. Simultaneously, Camilla moved to shore up her flank. She hosted a deliberately photographed luncheon at Clarence House for her grandchildren, seating them beside Charles in a tableau of accepted heirs, a move critics dubbed the Parker Bowles Parade. Sophie of Edinburgh, ever diplomatic, invited Meghan's estranged father to a Commonwealth literacy fundraiser, then quietly withdrew the offer after a single phone call from Lambeth. Even peripheral alliances now undergo microscopic vetting. Pollsters see tides turning. May Ipsos numbers show 58% of Britons favour streamlining titles to active royals. Among Gen Z the figure rises to 71%. Data Williams communications chief intends to leverage if the king falters. Yet the countercurrent flows. Commonwealth realms like Canada and Australia murmur discomfort at genetic monarchy, fearing Republican voices will seize on any perceived cruelty toward toddlers to fuel referenda. The palace's strategic unit produced a wargame memo, codename Nightjar, outlining 3 communication lines. Heritage secured if DNA positive, celebrate science affirming tradition. Continuity clarified if negative, emphasize compassion while preserving constitutional certainty. Family first if inconclusive, delay announcement, blame lab error, open discreet mediation. In the margins someone scrawled, pray for Nightjar 3 never. Past midnight on Midsummer Eve the king summoned the archbishop and his private secretary to a candlelit chapel royal. Witnesses heard organ chords then muffled voices. Speculation rages that Charles extracted spiritual assurance he could proceed without moral stain. The decision window now narrows, autumn's state opening beckons, and peers say the monarch intends to settle the issue before donning imperial state crown. He will not risk questions of bloodline as he reads the king's speech. If the verdict is testing, a charter flight stands ready to carry an accredited courier to Stanford's genomics lab, fastest 3-day turnaround worldwide. If refusal arrives from Montecito, the king may invoke Clause 7 of the 2013 Succession Act, empowering the sovereign to alter titles with Privy Council consent. It has never been used, but statutes slumber until history shakes them awake. Amid the schemes, one quiet figure moves with singular purpose. Princess Anne, whisper insiders, has drafted a family compact proposing that Archie and Lilibet receive courtesy styles of lord and lady, echoing the Mountbatten precedent, diffusing tension without full Her Royal Highness burden. She believes only compromise can mend brothers. William listens yet waits. His instincts say firmness. His heart, still scarred by Diana's traumas, leans toward his nephew and niece. Catherine, champion of early childhood, urges empathy, reminding him children never chose the battlefield. Camilla counters that empathy without clarity breeds chaos. Queens must close doors no mother wants, for the realm's sake, a friend quotes her. The king, torn, writes nightly in a leather diary monogrammed Cr, remembering his own childhood when rumours claimed Prince Philip an exile unworthy of British blood. He refuses that for his grandchildren, yet fears a future when tabloids depict a doubtful lineage occupying the line of succession. August will decide everything. A high summer summit at Balmoral where Charles intends to present his sealed course of action to the entire working family, demanding unity before public proclamation. The castle's granite walls have heard abdications plotted and marriages forbidden. Now they will echo with the 21st century question, does DNA command the crown, or does the crown transcend DNA? Stay with us. In our next episode we will reveal the secret Balmoral seating plan that signals alliances, examine the parliamentary maneuvers brewing in case titles are stripped, and decode the mysterious phrase Operation Skylark already circulating among palace guards. Tap the discreet thumbs up, subscribe for the revelations cresting on the Highland horizon, and be first to witness whether blood, duty, or digital fury writes the next chapter of Britain's enduring royal saga.